So, without further ado, would you join me in welcoming Betsi Oliver?
Ew. There's only a few of you that I don't think that I've met before. So, but I'll briefly introduce myself. Bobby gave a sneak preview. So I've got different threads of my life that are weaving this tapestry of my time. How many of you resonate with that, right? We got all these different parts of our lives, and so I have a strong part of my life has been in conservation work, public land advocacy, wilderness education, guiding. That's really what brought me to Alaska 17 or so years ago. And then I have this other thread of my life that is, I'm a ceremonialist, so I lead different types of ceremony, cacao ceremonies and breathwork, and I've done quite a bit of bringing Indigenous and non-Indigenous medicine ceremonialists to Alaska over the years as well. And I do coaching through that work. I did write a book last year that's an integration guide for anybody, in particular with a focus on those who are working with plant medicines as part of their personal growth journey. And so, yeah, that was like this big, sort of that mystic side of me coming through in this big creative burst to write this book. And then, as I was just saying to Bobby right before you all arrived today, it's like there's in the pendulum of my life. So I did this big burst of sort of mystic creative energy, and then about 6 months later, I stepped back into my previous career, and I am the director of a nonprofit that does trails advocacy. So all of these different threads in my life. And I understand that sort of the loose theme that you have this season with your Adam gatherings is self-inquiry. Does that ring a bell, or is that just Bobby told me that?
That's Bobby.
It is mine, but it's the theme of the month.
Got it.
Last month it was mindfulness technique. This week it's inquiry. Next month it will be something that will work.
Great. So and I'm so excited that you guys are welcoming Tristan. He and I are very dear friends who go back a long way, and I was the first. I will always claim this because he's now an internationally celebrated ecstatic dance DJ, and I had to drag him to the stage and was hosting the first ecstatic dance that he ever DJ'd.
How many years ago?
That must have been about 2021, 22 or so. Yeah. So I have a series of like cacao ceremony, ecstatic dances coming up. There's one in October, November, December. They're over at Open Space, if you're familiar. I've been leading ecstatic dance cacao ceremony combinations there since 2017. So excited to be bringing that back again this fall. Sadly, Tristan will be back in Costa Rica by the time we get those started, but we have other local DJs that I also have been cultivating to be incredible ecstatic dance DJs over the years. So, I'll toot my own horn on that. No, because I do really feel that a big part of what I do is it's about growing our community, and that's what you guys are doing here too, right? So cultivating each of us to step more and more into our gifts and more into our leadership, whether that's loud in the stage leadership or the quiet peer-to-peer leadership, however that expresses through you. So today, I would love to walk you through a practice. It's a standing breathwork practice. It's called the Amazonian standing breathwork. If standing isn't in your card deck today, that's okay. You can do it from a seated position, but if you are able to stand, that will be the invitation as well. So I will show you how to do that in a moment, but really wanting to bring this self-inquiry component to it. So before we go into the breath work, I want to just give everyone an opportunity to prepare yourself, to reflect for yourself. In a way, it's to set an intention. To me, no, forget that sentence. So I'm going to give you actually 3 to 5 minutes with yourself. If you have a journal that you brought, that's great. If not, I actually have a traveling pack of notepads and pens, so I can actually start passing these around if you want to grab something out. And while those are going around, the invitation is to prepare yourself for going into a self-inquiry practice. And it's not a thought-based practice once we go into it. It's a body, breath, kind of get out of your thoughts practice. And also, as you know, you can be an observer while you are not in your thoughts, right? So once you are in your few minutes with your journal that I'm going to give you, you can prepare yourself however you want. But the invitation is to either write for yourself, what is your self-inquiry going to look like during this process? So what do you observe? How do you observe? What do you think you might be inquiring about? And maybe you have a lot of experience and you're like, oh, I know that I watch how my breath moves. I know that I focus on the tip of my nose, or I know that I observe how my emotions or my thoughts come and go. I watch the clouds, of my thoughts move across the sky of my being. That's fine. Or maybe you take this moment to think and say, what's something that maybe I haven't tried that I would like to bring into this practice today? How do I want to pay attention to my experience? How do I want to observe myself during this experience? If you complete that, or if you don't feel like doing that, I always like to give lots of options. Another thing that you can be writing about is a bit of intention setting. This breath work that I'll be walking you through is really excellent for releasing energy and really excellent for cultivating and amplifying energy. So if you know that there's something that you are really ready to release, or you are working on releasing, maybe that's something that you want to just spend a moment becoming present to, write down a little bit. And or if there's something that you are cultivating in your life, that you are calling into your life, that you are ready to build more of or amplify, that's another thing. Kind of write it down. Just connect lightly with these things so that then we can put our thoughts aside and go into the practice. Did you need paper?
Oh, no, I got something.
You got something. All right. So take a few minutes. Go right ahead. Go ahead. Come on in. We're just taking a few moments of reflection, intention setting before we go into a practice. about 1 more minute if you still are finishing. Looks like people are, for the most part, wrapped up. So, awesome. So let's set that aside. And if you're like me and you prefer to have your shoes off, so long as your socks aren't too stinky today. And then I invite you to stand up. We won't stay in a circle. You can actually fill the space. You just need about enough space that you can swing your arms without hitting your neighbor. And if you have a water bottle, you can definitely bring it with you. It's nice sometimes if your mouth gets dry during the breath work to have water handy. Come in this way rather than being back in the chairs. Kind of fill in, guys. We really don't need a bunch of space in the middle. Awesome. Okay. So it is a series of breath works, and I'll show you because we go through them and then we go. I always think of it as like going up and then back down, and so we'll do it once through very quickly just so you can see it and practice it, and then we'll start and go into it for real. It's fine.
Blocking the camera.
I feel like Richard's in it. Okay, so the breath work starts with earth, which is like this. And then it goes water. And then fire. And then air. And then spirit. Infinity. And then we go back down. Spirit, air, fire, water, and earth. You're experts. There is no requirement to do it at the same pace that I'm doing it at. We don't all have to breathe in and out at the same rhythm. And if your body starts to find a bit of its own expression within that breath work, it's, if sometimes air feels like this and sometimes air feels like this, right? So really stay with what feels like how the breath posture is moving through you in each moment. Sometimes on fire, I am like, every core muscle in me is going on fire. And sometimes it's much gentler. And so even from one day to the next, you will find your own expression. If you aren't very familiar with breath work, a few things to be aware of. The tips of your fingers might get a little tingly. That's not a problem. It's part of what happens when we have more oxygen than carbon dioxide in our bodies. You can keep going if you want to, or if at any time for any reason you want to kind of downgrade the intensity, you can either breathe the same breath pattern we're doing but at a slower pace, or you can just come to a normal breath, you know, for as long as you need, and then rejoin us whenever you are ready. So fine, and on the flip side, if you would like more intensity, you can bring more to the breath, more of your muscles engaged, more, you know, strength to the in or the out. You'll find your way. Yeah, we're gonna be here for a while, so don't worry about how long it's going or keeping track of things. I will let us know every time we're shifting to another one, and yeah, it can kind of warp your sense of time sometimes when you're in it. So just go with it. Sometimes I have gone into a trance state with this, or a light trance state. So that's definitely, if that's part of your practice and you want to kind of let that take you as well. Yeah.
So we're doing all of one, like all water, all fire, all.
Yes.
And then we're in transit.
Exactly.
Gotcha, I'm with you now. I thought we had to do all 5.
Nope. We're going to be in each one for like several minutes each, and then we'll go to the next one. So
Thank you
just
for the clarity.
yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any other clarifications needed? Awesome. All right. Earth. Water. Fire. Finding your expression, your intensity. Air. What are you observing? spirit. What's being released? Infinity. Spirit. Air. What are you cultivating? What are you inviting in? Fire. Water. Earth. And then any breath or sound or movement that your body wants to make, let it out. Spending a moment to observe doesn't have to mean anything yet. There doesn't need to be a story or a narrative or an explanation, just observing the experience of this moment. Staying with this observer perspective, go back and find your seat, find your notebook. I invite you to take a couple of minutes with yourself to write down some things you observed. So still staying out of meaning and how it ties into any part of the grand narrative of who you are. So even just a bullet point list is a great way to help, keep with that observer. What did you observe maybe in your physical body? What did you observe with your thoughts? Did you observe anything in your energetic body, in your emotional body? Maybe you noticed something different the first time we went through it versus when we were going back down. about one more minute if there's anything else you want to capture. You can always come back later and write the novel. Put the bullet points down now while they're fresh. There's a feel in here, y'all.
Oh, what did you say?
A field, just
Oh.
a shared field of energy. Yeah.
Thank you for creating it.
Oh, we created it. We breathed it into existence. My invitation, I would love to do just some integration discussion opportunity, but first, or kind of to move us from your experience into a group experience, let's spend about 5 minutes, so it's short, but make groups of about 3-ish, whoever's nearby you, to share what you observed, what you experienced, what's coming through for you, and then we'll come back as a whole circle to have a communal conversation. So groups of 3-ish. Yeah, you just don't have a lot of, yeah, two or 4 is fine. 2 or 4 is fine.
No problem. I like the bustling part when we all did the infinity. It felt really cool, like feeling everybody's energy, and that was really neat. Yes. This one was like the spirit one, and then this one was like the infinity. She reminded me that I want to remember that too. I was just making an observation that I liked that part.
It's hard for me to get out of that monkey mind. But I really could feel the connection specifically, like in and then I know that
Yeah.
that always is wrong. I would like to feel my words.
And you really helped.
So I can feel it in I felt that on the up, but on the down, just the same as the tightness of my it was very enlightening and what I needed to do. And I'm glad I listened to
That's really cool. I just felt that. It's really cool. Yeah, I just felt that. Sorry about that, just being really
Well, I had a similar intention.
The spirit one
Once before,
it was as intuitive for me to get an echo. I was thinking about how to move my fingers and my forehead was feeling a little sweaty.
I'm very
And then I'm trying to get into the breath without getting dried out. So I was like, okay, well then maybe this is where like
So that was my
practice or something.
to be in the service First 3 rounds.
And the Infinity one felt really, really great.
How long you spend on
Sorry, I just got a little dry.
And then, you know,
Breathing and vocal. I got really vocal with it.
Yes.
I'm thinking, you know, so I just, I wasn't like trying to manage that, you know, just trying to remind myself, and almost like a mantra, just to, so you forget to say what, and you then remember, oh, I'm not saying, you start saying, no, I was trying to do that, and I think because of that, the way up.
Couple more minutes, make sure everyone in your group has had a chance to share.
And way down, my body was like,
Everybody has to feel it in their own way. Definitely took me a little bit to like kind of loosen up and feel into
pushing my body to the
after doing it all like once, I was like,
way down.
I want to do it again. I want to do it one more time. And then I want to take a rest. Yes, I want to write that down too so I can remember to be able to even do it on my own.
I don't think that anybody can do everything the same.
Yeah. 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 Yes. Yeah. I think so. It's really interesting.
Yeah, because you can.
Yeah. I love feeling that energy build that everybody was kind of doing it together. And I was like, this is really cool.
I
because
learned
I've never met any of these people.
in the Andes, but
So it's neat to just do that impromptu.
I know how I learned it. I don't know where it recently.
I used to, yeah.
Enjoy the story of it.
I did cards and then I went over to and just some crystal placement and then final meridians, that kind of thing. And then I went to readings with cards, but not like traditional. Those are ones for you,
I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
It becomes part of the experience too, right?
Yeah.
Kind of held in this bell of everybody's vibration. Let's
I did a similar healing
let's make one big circle again. I'm loving the
Before the
but very similar
way down
to that.
let's make one big circle again. Well, this is fun. Usually I have I lead a lot of workshops or sessions that sort of have an energetic intent. There's an arc to them, and so I prepare prompts or reflection questions for the end to sort of bring us back to the central theme. But in this instance, the theme was literally self-inquiry, and I'm not guiding you to any particular type of aha moment of any kind. It's purely about this opportunity to spend time with yourself in a different way. So from that, did anybody have an experience of being with themselves in a different way? And what else is really coming, not just from your own experience, but now you've had a chance to share a bit with other people, what's really emerging as a shared theme or line of inquiry? I know, super big, super open-ended.
It just felt really cool to be in the building of energy with everybody and have that to be able to just happen. It's just really neat.
How did you know it was happening?
It's like just all the sounds kind of started feeling and sounding like they were just like coming together, and just a lot of like vibration.
Come in, come in, come in.
No problem. What's your name? Oh,
I don't know what she was doing.
Oh, it's fine.
what's your name?
Nicole.
Nicole. Awesome. So what I'm listening for in these shares is how, like, what is the thing we observe that then tells us what's happening? The more we can be aware, right? It's like, oh, this was very obviously a time where there was shared energy. And the way I knew that was happening was because this was happening with my experience of sound, right? That then creates a framework for us going forward. We can start to notice, oh, wow, that thing is happening with sound. I know what that means. I can choose to amplify that and lean into it.
Well, I think for me, I've often thought of myself as the fire person. So when I expected to get to fire, I really just expected to really fire. But that didn't happen at all. It was when I got to infinity, is when I started to observe something different about myself. And what I experienced was in my hands, I could feel weights in my hands. And then my hands started to just kind of move whatever way it needed to move. Then I could feel this ball of like energy, and I could feel the energy expanding. And I almost was going to put my hands all the way out. What I could feel was it was expanding in the room. I also felt the connection when everyone was at a certain level. I could feel this connection. And
how did you feel it? How did you know you were feeling it?
I could feel the pressure, weight within both my hands. And the way, it was like someone was actually touching my hands. So in the center in the palms of my hands, I could feel that. And I could feel some type of a creative thing going on with my hands at the same time. And then as everyone was moving into a different level, I was still at infinity. And I just wanted to finish creating this, whatever I was doing. Maybe I was painting a picture. Maybe I was creating this, everyone's here, and because I'm an artist, so it's like, okay, let's keep going with this, or I wasn't thinking that, it was happening, because I had no voice. It was like I was there, but I was outside of myself, but I was feeling my creativity. I was feeling the higher source of where this was coming from. And then what was left, what came through was, I am with you. And that spoke loudly to me during this time.
What a thing to notice. Oh, things are moving on, but I am not yet complete with what I'm doing. And there's something important that I am doing that's more important than following where whatever is supposed to be happening right now.
Yeah, I'm learning to let go. I know I've been a person much of my life with a big ego. And I really don't like it.
That's only your problem.
No, I'm just saying, I know other people haven't, but I'm just saying, When it's like I'm changing, and it's like, ooh, I feel that way. I said that, ooh. So I'm sitting with myself, talking to myself, and I'm saying I can't have this stuff if I want to be aligned with spirit. I can't have this stuff if I want to connect with source. As much as I want to fight, as much as I want to, I had problems with lawyers yesterday. It was just back and forth. And I said, now where in all this, once I got in my car, where in all this do I, first off, need to forgive him, one thing. But the other thing is, where do I make my alignment? Where do I move from this? How do I connect again? And I said, compassion, first of all. And to sense the bigger picture of all this. Where am I going? What do I need to shed as I go? I don't like it. I like wearing this jacket, but I need to let go of it, you know? This jacket's protected me all my life, but now it's time for me to open up the jacket, shed the jacket, and say, you know what? I'm going to a bigger way, a newer way, and a bigger understanding of what my whole life is, you know? And who am I really connected to? I'm connected to people. I'm connected to my larger source. I want that. I really do. And you understand that. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I thought it was a pretty cool experience. I thought it was interesting to me, all the things that I experienced. Like, I asked that I would really be present and that I would allow my body to feel, allow my mind and my heart. And I noticed myself really paying attention of what I noticed in my physical body. Like at one point I got so hot. Like I thought I was going to pass out. And then I got, let me write it down right now. I felt like, it was really interesting to notice the transitions that my body went through as we were transitioning through the experience. And it was interesting, in the mental realm, it was kind of beautiful because it's like I could hear everybody's individual sound, you know, how we all have our own spiritual harmonics that we put out, you know, but it's like I could hear. And it was really beautiful. And it made me think about how we all have our own purpose of being here and what we need to do to make everything beautiful in the world. And it's like I heard that beauty about everybody. And yet, like, when we were talking, we're still one. You know, it's just like the sum of all of you is even more beautiful because of the individual harmony that we have. And it was neat to experience that together, so that unity of all of us. And not everybody was even on the same time. I felt a lot of times I was going faster or slower, but it still felt like it was still the perfect order.
It's like in our life journey of self-inquiry and self-knowing, how often is somebody else's noise the problem, right? Somebody else's noise is what's getting in the way of us being able to hear ourselves or know ourselves. And so to have that to me is like a healing experience, right? To have the opposite where, oh, I am now having an experience where other people's noise is amplifying my ability to connect to myself.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
And so to remember, right, to have an embodied experience of that, to remember that is always possible, right? And then be able to take that out into each day as you're moving around, and it's the guy with the lawyer or whatever, it's whatever, right? You're like, oh, all of their noise doesn't have to be the problem. It can be part of what I'm experiencing in this moment.
Yeah, and I also felt a really huge release. Like I felt lighter.
Did anybody else get a release during that?
Yeah.
Some released energy. Did I see someone's hand over here who was?
So my release energy was very specific, right in the left-hand side of my thigh. It felt like there was something solid in there. And then it warmed up and it just sort of disappeared. And I have no idea what that was all about, but The other thing that I noticed was that I stayed in the experience. I didn't go running off into what does this mean? What's coming next? And none of that. I just stayed with whatever was happening and let myself, my hands and my body do what it wanted to, even though everybody was, it just felt that was okay and felt safe and just free. So, the time back went by very, very fast.
That was about 40 minutes of breathwork, y'all.
Really?
Yeah. 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 To stay, those are like two of the big things that pull us out of the present and experiencing it. One is well, what does it mean? And how does it connect to the narrative, the drama, whatever? What's happening, right? Well, what was this thing in my leg that released, and do I need to understand what it was for it to have happened, right? And just observing without, like, whether or not you understand the story, it's happening. And then the other piece that you didn't mention, but that I actually you exemplify beautifully not doing this, is questioning it or doubting it. Am I really having this experience? Is this really meaning something, right? Am I really feeling something in my hands, or is that just my imagination, right? Wondering if something's real versus your imagination is just a distraction from just observing it and noticing it as it happens.
Sure. I had like two different experiences. My intention was to not make meaning. I've been making a lot of meaning out of things recently, so I thought this was a good opportunity to work on letting that go. And on the way up, it was a challenge. I'd have, how long this is going to last? Ooh, I like this part. And I was just like gently reminding myself, okay, just be full of the experience. And almost all stops on the way up, I had to kind of remind myself. On the way down, there was none of that until we got to air the second time. And then all of a sudden, like I had nothing much other than the experience, no judgment, or I wasn't trying to figure anything out or answer any questions until we got to air. And I'm like, oh, wow. I haven't really thought about anything at all the way down. And then
Good job. Such a good job.
Exactly. And then immediately it was like, until now. But it was really a cool experience. And I think it was a year ago I did it with you the first time. And all I remember was I really enjoyed it. So coming into this, it was like brand new all over again because I remembered very well the instructions. Thank you.
So we had some amazing observing, some energy releases. Did anybody have an experience of cultivating or amplifying an energy or a...
I was just in the process the whole time. Like when we got to water, I cold plunged this summer in like Chester Creek, and I'd lay on my tummy and hold on to a root, and the water would be coming at me like, and so I just went into various experiences of what air, how I experienced air. So I was just hanging in there, and then it was great to do it with a group of people. And then afterwards, you said, just observe. And so I just shut my eyes, and I started to feel like, it was really hard to describe it, kind of like an expansion in the very center of my head. And I don't know if that was like a pineal expansion, but as soon as we started talking, it sort of stopped. I feel like I could go back to it. But that was something I never sensed before. And school is like a field, like expanding in my hand.
I was noticing, I've been doing this breathwork for 10 years, and I can't recall ever playing with this in the same way, but in the infinity with the buzzing, I was really playing with different ways of buzzing my, like, sinus, I guess, or like these different, spaces that we have up in our third eye region, or at least the outside part of it. And yeah, I was just like, wow, I can vibrate myself here and create, all of the benefits that vibration does on any part of our bodies. Yeah.
Yeah, and the infinity part of that was just saying my energy out, being bigger than the universe, and saying infinitely inward, so just trying that. I'm sure everybody has different interpretation, or sense.
Yeah, but I love the word you used, trying, right? I was playing. I'm like, oh, let's play. Let's see what happens if I move my energy like this, or I move my breath like that. Yeah. Thank you so much for playing with me today, and with this beautiful collective that we share. Anything else for the good of the order?
If anybody has any questions before we close out that they would like to ask Betsi, or anything else to share, if not, we can close the circle. There's one more, but
I enjoy the absolute randomness of the dogs and the person coming in, and actually involving with the sounds, and it seemed to mix so lovely. But the group was fun to play with, going up and down the energies. It was all the way through. I was being invited to do new things I hadn't thought of, hadn't played with before. I very much appreciate that. Thank you for this opportunity.
Do you have other stuff coming up that people can join in on?
So right now I have those events that will be happening in open space. It's the first Friday of October, November, and December. Right now that's it. But I'm happy to be invited to other things. Because I've been pretty focused on this new professional role I've been in, I haven't been filling my calendar with this side of life, but that doesn't mean that I'm not available for more of it.
I guess it's a side note, but it might be just kind of not a coincidence, but from that lady right there to that lady over there, all four of those folks are left-handed altogether.
I wanted to.
in
But what are the chances? I mean, all four are left-handed.
So funny.
And they all sat together.
They all sat together.
Right.
Betsy, I want to thank you for your presence.
The universe is
And,
Good job, Phil.
and for the gift that you've given us. More than there's some in here that really appreciate your gift as well as I do. But keep doing what you're doing. Your presence is honored.
So if they go to Open Space website, it will show your timing and your dates.
Yes. Yeah, I don't do all the registration and everything. They have it all over there at Open Space. Thank your little group mates on your way out. So you have some closure if you had some powerful conversations there, and I can do this for you guys again next year if you want. Yes. If you